it seems like it should go without saying, but we're going to anyway. Our summers are dangerously hot here in the desert. Now, most people have the wherewithal to get themselves out of the heat and into safety. Our pets are totally dependent on us to protect them. Now, most veterinarians will tell you we live in a region where many times of the year there should not be an outdoor pet. But if your pet needs to be outside for any reason, for any length of time, there are basic needs you must provide. Our dogs love to get outside, run, and play, which is fine about 8 months out of the year here in Las Vegas. But when those temperatures climb in the late spring and summer, being outside can not only be extremely uncomfortable for our pets, it can be deadly. We spoke with Dr. Ken Saransky, Director of Veterinary Services at the Animal Foundation, about why heat is especially brutal for our furry family members.
So you think about a dog, their body is covered in fur, they're not sweating the same way that people do, they're not able to release heat in that same way kind of all throughout their skin. Actually, their primary mechanism of dissipating all that extra heat is through panting.
Dr. Saransky says here at the Animal Foundation, they go to great lengths to make sure their adoptable dogs have what they need even for short playtimes outside.
A nice shady place, and then plenty of cool fresh water. And you have to remember that, the water in a metal bowl especially will get hot very quickly. So putting things like ice and just continually changing up that water, making sure that it's really cool.
The kiddie pools, shade, the constant change of cool drinking water, and even the installation of misters can help keep your pet safe in these dangerously hot days. But he also says be mindful of their paws. If your pet's exercise consists of walks, the mornings are best when pavement is not scorching hot.
A good rule that I like to use is actually to put the back of your hand onto that hot asphalt, the hot sidewalk or something like that before you decide to walk your dog on that, because especially June, July, and August here in the valley, it gets really, really hot, and just a little bit of time on those surfaces can actually burn the paw pads.
Some signs that your pet is getting overheated are very heavy panting, since that is their only method of cooling their bodies, low energy or lethargic, a lack of response. You call them, but they don't come to you or even look your way. And vomiting, that's a sign they are in heat stroke.
There are actually severe medical consequences that can happen from your pet being kept outside. So that heat exhaustion, that minor kind of, too much heat can actually become heat stroke, and so it can become much more severe. We can, signs like vomiting, seizures, internal organs basically are all affected by the heat, and heat stroke can become so severe it can even go all the way to death.
These severely hot days are really only an issue a few months out of the year, so Dr. Saransky says his best advice is play or exercise in the early morning hours or later in the night. But keep in mind, the safest and most comfortable place for your pet to be in any extreme weather is indoors with you.
Really, the best thing you can do in June, July, and August here in the valley is to keep your dog indoors. We know already that it gets extremely hot here. Dogs are not, especially with like the thick hair coats and everything, they're just not equipped to be dealing with that heat. So if at all possible, it's really important to keep your dog inside.
Dr. Ken says if you don't want your pet to have the run of the house, especially when you're not home, block off an area, a laundry room, a kitchen. Keeping them in a confined space for a limited amount of time is a lot more humane than keeping them out in the heat. Finally, he says the pets that are most vulnerable to the heat are older pets, younger pets, overweight pets, and pets with flat faces like pugs or bulldogs.